Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a report about Sensient technologies. And let me tell you, it's not exactly a page turner unless you're really into the nitty-gritty of credit agreements. Because who doesn't love reading about debt, right? This report is about how Sensient is dealing with its borrowing and debts. We will see if they are in trouble or if they are managing it well so they can continue to operate as a normal business. If you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below for more discussions. So Sensient just updated their credit agreement. Think of a credit agreement like a personal credit card, but on a corporate scale. It allows the company to borrow money when needed. The main agreement they have is called Fourth Amended and Restated. Credit agreement, it's basically saying they updated and changed their credit agreement for the fourth time. Basically, they now have access to a $400 million credit line. A credit line is the money available to them to borrow. They can use it for day-to-day operations, what they call working capital, or to pay off other debts, which are like the balances on your credit card. The biggest change is that they increased the amount they can borrow from $350 million to $400 million. It's like getting a credit limit increase. They also pushed back when they need to pay everything off. The date it's due has moved May of 2026 to June of 2030. That's like asking for more time to pay your bills. Now let's talk about interest rates. This is how much Sensient pays to borrow money. It floats depending on a couple of indexes like secured overnight financing rate, euro interbank offered rate, and sterling overnight index average, plus a percentage depending on how much debt Sensient has, depending on how much loans and debts they have. It causes them to pay between 1.000, we're keen to be going through 0% to pay between how much debt Sensient has. Depending on how much loans and debts they have, it causes them to pay between 1.8x they have. It causes them to pay between 1.0 that Sensient has, depending on how much loans and debts they have. It causes them to pay between 1.0 to bait Sensient has, depending on how much loans and debts they have. It causes them to pay between 1.00% to 1.52%. There are rules, which are called covenants, that Sensient must follow. One of them is called the net leverage ratio. It's basically a debt to income ratio, which in this case consolidated total funded net debt to consolidated EBITDA. EBITDA helps to give a picture of its operating profitability. This ratio needs to be less than 3.50 to lead to DAR. EBITDA helps to give a picture of its operating profitability. This ratio needs to be less than 3.50 to 1.00 to 1.00 to 1.00. Like any loan agreement, there are events of default. This is what triggers a problem and allows lenders to demand their money back immediately. These events include not paying on time, breaking promises made in the agreement, going bankrupt, or other debts not being paid as well. There were other minor changes. Another loan agreement was amended with PNC Bank, giving them more time to pay off their bills, extending it to June of 2027. Unfortunately, there aren't any financial statements in this report. This report is not for financial numbers. So what does it all mean? Sensient is basically managing its debt. They have a $400 million line of credit which gives them financial flexibility, and they've extended some payment deadlines. This buys them more time. Their interest rates are pretty standard, and they must follow some terms of agreement or covenants to make sure they don't lose their ability to borrow. Or however, let's look at some potential weaknesses and risks. First, increasing the line of credit to $400 million indicates they might need more cash flow now, as they are taking on more debt, and is a sign that company is struggling with its money. Lenders could change the terms of the agreement if Sensient fails to meet its terms. This would really hurt Sensient. The report doesn't have financials, but the interest rate can increase if Sensient takes on too much debt and that they are not making revenue. That could be an indicator that Sensient isn't making the money it needs to pay back its loans. In conclusion, Sensient is actively managing its debt, but there are risks involved. It's crucial to keep an eye on their financial performance to see if they're just delaying problems or setting themselves up for better success. Alright, that's our breakdown of Sensient's latest filing. What's your take on these details and how they might affect companies' future? Leave a comment if you have any thoughts. If this analysis was useful, hitting that like button helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. And as always, don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.